Hi there. My name is Johnny Martinez, and I speak to you from London in the United Kingdom. I work for a company called Crowdcoms, and the focus of my presentation today is the importance of time management. My contact details are visible on screen in case you'd like to get in touch with me during or after this presentation. To provide a bit of framework, firstly, I will look at the concept of time management and also the concept of Pareto's law. Subsequently, I will introduce a popular time management methodology known as the Eisenhower matrix. And finally, at the end of my presentation, we would look at a couple of apps, tools that I use on a daily basis. Let's start off with a question. How many of you often feel like there is not enough time in a day? Do you find it easy or difficult to fit in everything you want to do? We all get the same 24 hours. So why do some people seem to achieve more with their time than others? The answer is good time management. Time management is the process of making those choices. What is most urgent? What is most important? Active time management involves organizing and planning how to divide our time between different activities with the goal of maximizing the time we spend on specific tasks so we can achieve our goals faster. Why is this so important? Why does it matter how we spend our time? And why should we be concerned about this? Time is money. This expression is often attributed to Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States. It comes from a book he wrote in 1748 called Advice to a Young Tradesman. This is one of the first things we learn when we start out in our working life. And for many people, this is one of the key factors in the desire to manage time effectively. In present day business life, the time that we spend at work directly translates into the money that we earn. Therefore, time has become the main capital of business professionals and event marketeers everywhere. The more efficient we are with our time, or the quicker we get projects done, the more money we can earn. Time, once lost, is gone forever. So we should exercise care in choosing how we spend our time. We should always try to make the best use of it. I'm sure many of you know about Pareto's law, but it is a useful concept when we think about time management. Why? Because it can help us focus on the right effort so we can become more effective. So it says that 20% of results usually come from just 20% of the time and effort spent. This formula or principle applies to many other things, such as the fact that 20% of bugs create 80% of system errors, or 20% of your clients bring in 80% of the revenue. The idea is that you prioritize those tasks, those clients, those opportunities that will have the greatest impact overall. Let's look at the Eisenhower matrix. This is considered a more effective replacement for a basic to-do list. It places task urgency on one axis and task importance on the other. And it can help us figure out what tasks we have to do first. This concept was inspired by former US President Dwight Eisenhower. He said, I have two kinds of problems, the urgent and the important. The urgent are not important, and the important are never urgent. Tasks are divided into four categories in the Eisenhower matrix. The first quadrant is the do first. So you place tasks here that are both essential to achieving a key goal and must be completed as soon as possible. If you place a task in this quadrant, you should do it immediately and focus entirely on completing that task. The second quadrant is the decide or schedule quadrant. These are things that should be added to your calendar so that you remember to give them the attention they deserve and complete them with enough time to spare. Say you've got a deadline that is coming up in 2 weeks. You block off plenty of time in your diary so you work on the tasks and it doesn't get left until the very last minute. The third quadrant is the delegate quadrant. These are things that you should try to delegate, that you should try to hand over to someone else or perhaps an automation tool. The last quadrant helps you identify any bad habits that tend to contribute to procrastination. This section contains activities that you should try to avoid. If a task is neither urgent nor important, you should consider whether it really needs to be done at all. Let's look at a real example. Here in the first quadrant, there are things such as submitting a proposal for a key client that is due tomorrow, responding to a juicy business opportunity that will contribute to my pipeline, to my revenue. Here in the second quadrant, we have tasks such as preparing for a presentation like this one. What I do is I block off enough time in my calendar to rehearse, to gather the content, and to prepare myself to deliver the message. There are tasks such as transcribing meeting notes, recording meetings, or answering non-client emails that perhaps can be delegated to someone else or can be handled by an AI tool, for example. In the last quadrant, we have any activities that are not or urgent or not important. Attending a networking event, whether I go or not, is not the end of the world. Let's look at some time management tools and apps. First up, a time tracking app called Toggle. I love Toggle. Why? Because it really helps me keep track of how I'm spending my time and how much time I'm spending on each task. Toggle is simple, it's free, it's web-based, and it provides a timesheet that can be viewed in multiple formats. So this shows you the list view with the graph. To log an activity, you can start and stop the timer, or you can also enter it manually. You can also view your time as a calendar. So you can edit time entries after the fact in both views, but the calendar view, I find it easier to see, especially if I've missed any time that has been unaccounted for. You can add many different tags. You can create project types, and you can export statistics and reports. The next tool is Fathom AI. Fathom is amazing because it's an AI-powered note taker and is great for online meetings, especially external meetings. That's when I use it. It can automatically record the meeting, transcribe it, and then it creates a summary of all of the content of the meeting. So it really helps you, stay organized. The great thing for me is that I never have to take, written notes again. Less than 30 seconds after the meeting ends, the summary is already available. Fathom integrates with all conferencing platforms, Zoom, Teams, and you can pick certain sections of the recording of the conversation so you can add it to your emails, and you can easily drop the content in Slack. Now, just one final thought. Time is non-refundable, so remember to use it with intention. And as much as we like to leave things for tomorrow, mañana, your future is created by the things that you do today, not tomorrow. Thank you very much. This is the end of my presentation, and thanks for having me.